This is the Tanya Free and Friends Talk Show, your destination for the best in social and political straight talk. And now, here's your host, Miss Tanya Free.
Today is Wednesday, September the 26th. Welcome to the Tanya Free and Friends Talk Show. I am Tanya Free, joined by my cousins and friends. Ed Foster, how are you, friend?
Hey, fine, cousin.
Good. Glad to have you here with us.
It's good to be here.
And also with us is Brenda Foster, who almost wasn't with us because our security. How are you, friend?
I'm good. Thank you.
Good. Thank you, cuz. I'm glad you all are here. And on this side of the track is Marcus Evans. How are you, friend?
I'm doing fine today. Thanks for having me.
Good. Always
On this side.
On this side. And I want to welcome Nona Mason, who was checking us out today. Hey, Nona. And behind the scenes is Noah Johnson, Sterling Goodnight, and Mr. Free. We want to thank everyone that's listening for joining us today and hope that you would join the conversation. Phone lines are open, 804-321-1010. Our toll-free number, 844-321-1010. Or you can text us at Tanya Free 63975 to weigh in. Or if you want to listen to us on your mobile phone, you can dial 712-832-7284. Thanks to our friends at AM/FM 247. Well, a lot is going on this week. Let's start with talking about U.S. Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein, who met with the president on Monday from my understanding, reportedly at his request, and with regard to discuss the report that allegedly that was put out that he considered secretly recording Trump and enlisting other cabinet officers to remove the president under the 25th Amendment, according to reports. Now, let me say this: the Article 4 of the 25th Amendment provides a process for the removal of a sitting president. Now, nothing was accomplished, from my understanding, with regards to this meeting because they're supposed to meet again on Thursday. But there was a lot of media hype on Monday as to whether or not he was going to resign or whether or not he was going to be fired. So I have no idea as to what was all the hype about on Monday with regards to Rosenstein. Did you all watch it, or what is your feedback with regards to what may happen on Thursday with regards to Rosenstein? No comment?
Well, there was a whole lot of theories, and one of which was that Trump actually set it up so that he had an excuse to fire him. That's one of them, and it's hard to believe anything with him.
Yeah.
But I think basically the thought that some people are protecting, if not the country, from further damage, that's probably plausible. I don't know if he in particular wanted to, what his particular is, but I'm sure there are people tamping Trump down. They've got to.
Well, I think it was a lot of hype set up for Thursday for the mere fact that the woman that is accusing Supreme nominee Brett Kavanaugh, how Trump likes to have things to distract folks.
Exactly.
I think that's what that was, because I think that if he was going to fire him, he would have done it on Monday. And I think, we talk about how he controls the media. I think that was truly a setup, and the media was all hyped up about that on Monday, which I have no idea as to why. But I believe that's what that was, a setup for Thursday to distract us from what may be coming down the pipe with regards to Brett Kavanaugh. Now, the other reason would be is the fact that he wants to remove Rosenstein anyway, so he can get rid of the Mueller probe. He will put somebody in office or in his place that would do whatever the heck he wants done with regards to Mueller. I think it's those two things. And I think he actually, if he is going to play he's going to fire Rosenstein, I think that's what it was. I think knowing how Trump's temper is, he would have done it on Monday. But I think he held that up for that particular reason on Thursday. I really do.
But he didn't have any evidence. You see, it was just conjecture, and so
right. But he doesn't care about that.
Said it wasn't true. So
right.
He didn't have any evidence. He would have had to come up with something.
Right.
To to expedite what he wanted to do.
Yeah, but we're talking about somebody that could care less about evidence, rules, and all of that. And I really, and my thing is this report came out, a week or so ago, and if he was going to do something, why wait until now to set up a meeting I just think that was a distraction for Thursday. I really think that's what it was. And the media played into it, or however he controls the media, I really think that's what it was. So we'll see on Thursday. As far as I'm concerned, my eyes will be on the trial that is set up for Dr. Christine Blasey Ford, the woman that came forward allegedly saying that Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh sexually assaulted her at a party when they were both teenagers. Now, she's supposed to testify before the Senate Judiciary Committee, and all of this, in my opinion, this is nothing but an execution. When she does this testimony, for the mere fact that you got all white men, some of these men that were on the Judiciary Committee when Anita Hill was being interrogated. That's what I think. It is a character credibility assassination.
Well, recently, I think yesterday, it came out that they were going to get a female lawyer to ask the questions.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean a lot.
You think that's going to make a difference?
Well, it doesn't mean a lot.
But she is she specializes in convicting people of sex crimes.
Right,
or something like
the
that.
women they have, right.
And I think the point of that was that they don't want to look bad asking certain questions.
Or
so they put it off on a white.
That's obviously the point.
On a woman.
Yeah.
They
But
already
They don't want to do the FBI probe.
Investigation,
every
right.
Investigation. This administration is living above the law, and everything they do is in unprecedented waters. So we don't know what's going to happen, you know.
Oh, yes, we do. Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
You do?
Mitch McConnell's already said he's going to be confirmed.
Oh, he did
Oh,
say
The
yeah.
president is already accusing Dr. Ford, asking a question as to why did she come, forward sooner after 30 years. So they have already.
Well,
in
I
fact,
believe that.
they're just going through the motions with this for the mere fact that they're supposed to have a confirmation vote on Friday at 9:30. How do you know you're going to have a confirmation vote? You haven't, and the committee hasn't even started yet. They haven't had it yet.
That's the part I'm talking about, the unprecedented waters. They're doing things that have never been
They
done.
do what the heck they want to do.
You brought up the large question I did. Normally, when you have an investigation or a meeting about something, you don't know the conclusion prior to having it. I mean, so if you're saying you're gonna vote him in on Friday, how do you know
Exactly.
that that's the answer unless you've already pre-decided and this thing is a waste?
They're
and I
showing
wonder
their
why
hand.
I know why she didn't want to do it, because what difference will it make?
I don't know. This is a question I raised. If you were Dr. Ford, would you actually put yourself through this sort of, I call a torture. I mean, I call it an execution. Would you all put yourself through it? What do you think? Do you think she should do it?
average
That's
Joe-
the question. Do you think she should do it?
The average Joe wouldn't do it. We don't know how committed she is to actually seeing something happen to him. I mean, prior to now, she probably could not have prevented him from becoming a judge. But this is a lot greater than just a judge.
Right.
And so I think that she's feeling if she doesn't do it, then then she'll blame herself, even if it doesn't work.
Right.
Even if it doesn't work, because you're right. The average woman wouldn't want to put
I
herself
couldn't
through
understand.
that. kind of-
They would have to
She's
carry
a
me out of handcuffs.
Well,
Ain't no
if
way
she's
on
a real
earth.
patriot.
Ain't no way on earth.
If
She
number-
is. I
think
agree.
she's a
I
real
think she is
patriot.
too. I think she is
doing
too.
good for the country.
If
She is.
number 45 can grope somebody and still become the president,
Right.
what makes her think her
You're right.
testimony
You're absolutely
is
right.
going to
You
stop
said
them?
somebody.
You're
It's
right.
not- It's 16 of them. Remember that.
Somebody.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
You know, what makes her think that whatever she says is going to make a difference
But
to
she's
the
got
ones
to
in
try.
power?
She's got to try. She is
God bless
trying
her.
to. Well, yeah. God
It's,
bless her
it's
that
a
she
setup
need
for the mere.
God.
It's a setup for the mere fact that they won't do an investigation. From my understanding, it only
no
takes
more.
3 days in order to do this, and then 2, they won't let her go after him. They making her testify first, and I think that's a whole lot. And then why are they rushing this thing through?
They're rushing it through for the obvious reasons. They
Right.
want to get it done before
For
the
the
midterm.
midterms.
election.
Right,
the
exactly,
And so,
exactly.
and it's obvious what they're doing. That's why they want to allow.
And then if Kavanaugh was so innocent, why won't he testify, or what is the FBI? Be questioned by the FBI?
Right.
And then 2, he think he's done something by doing an interview on Fox. Why don't you go anywhere else other than where you know that this is going to be catered to,
Softball
however you
question.
want this to come out?
Right. But then the other thing about that too, if you are innocent, would you want the FBI to prove you're
Of course.
innocent?
A lie detector test, all of that. And my question, other question is, if the FBI did their job, why didn't they catch this before when they investigated him? What happened?
Because nobody said anything. I mean, they investigate a lot of things, and they investigated whether he had any charges against him and all of that. But how would they know about this if this lady hadn't come forward?
Well, because she's come forward now, shouldn't they say, okay, let's put the brakes on this. Let's investigate
Of course
this.
they should.
Thank you.
Of
But
course they
why is
should.
it the president has? Why I don't understand why he has the authority. He's the only one that has the authority
He's
to
the
do
only
this.
one that has it.
Because
From my
that's what
understanding.
they have allowed.
Yeah.
Okay,
He's
let me
been
go. Let me go to
allowed
the
to do
phones.
what he
I'm getting
wants
my
to do.
blood pressure up a little bit. Hey, Scotty, how are you, friend?
Hey, Tanya and friends, how are y'all today?
Doing fine, Scotty. How are you? Good.
Hey, I tell you, man, this case, I agree with what was said earlier. If they go ahead and have a vote, I do expect him to be confirmed. I don't expect the Republicans to do anything else. But then I don't know. As I was on Twitter this morning, and our local senator, I think it's Richard Burr. Yeah, Richard Burr is the one who was expressing how he was going to support Kavanaugh. And you should have seen all the women that was going after him and saying, you can go ahead at your own risk and you're going to get voted out of office. So now there are, I'm just reading right now that what's the lady's name? I forget her name. The one made the allegations and will testify.
Dr. Ford.
Dr. Ford.
Yeah, she has new documents with 4 declarations from people. She says corroborate her assault allegations. Plus, there's a new woman that's being represented by the attorney
Michael Kavanaugh. Yes.
Avenatti.
Yes.
Yeah, and oh wow, I mean, she's saying that she was at several parties where they were spiking the punch, getting these women, incapacitated and excuse my language, but this is what she said, running a train on these girls.
Yeah, they were gang raped.
And said that Kavanaugh was seen in line, standing in line for his turn. And I tell you, man, this is just really disgusting. But to answer some of the questions, the Republicans kind of tried to rush this through, though.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They tried to rush this through, and they have withheld thousands of documents related to him. Right. So they can confirm him. I think that they will pay dearly during the midterm. So,
Scotty, I think that if they rush this through and confirm him, I think the Democrats going to get the Senate. I think this will be enough to get the Senate through, to flip the Senate to the Democrats. I really do. Because women are going to be outraged. It looked like the Democrats going to get the House, but I think this will be enough to push it that they will get the Senate too. Ted Cruz got to go and all of them. And then the 2 women congressmen. Ain't no way on earth they could be on the fence on this issue. And hopefully that will be the vote that will hold up Kavanaugh being confirmed.
I agree. Maybe they don't want to fall on that Kavanaugh. That's not a hill they want to die on, perhaps. So they need to really think wisely about this.
Yeah, no question about it. And one of the reasons why the Republicans are trying to push this through is so that they want a life-term appointment, to someone that they have selected, but also too their base is looking at this as to whether or not they have the authority to just rush this through, and if they don't, some of their voters may stay home. That's the other thing.
And one last thing though. What's his buddy name? Mark Judge calls the new woman who's making the allegations about the gang rape, said that them 2 was joined at the hip. So she saw both of them standing in line, and I think she was a victim as well. So we'll see.
Yeah. This one's a bit hard to just even comprehend how the Republicans can ignore these allegations altogether. And that if there are 3 women that have come forth, and there probably are more.
Well,
and
one of the things
they're trying to dismiss this whole issue is that it's something he did in his younger years, high school and college. Well, my thing is this: he did it, and you have that mentality. That to me, I just can't. Whether it was done, during your high school years, your college years. It's still in your background, right?
It's who you are.
Right. Hey, and I don't know if y'all are aware, one of his supporters who was in one of the ads found out about a reference to her in his yearbook. And she's mad about that. She's angry about that. But yeah, I don't understand why. Well, I do understand, but Mark Judge should be subpoenaed, which they ain't gonna do, and some of these women have taken polygraphs and have passed them, and they have taken out or sworn under oath to these documents. These documents, these sworn statements. Ain't nobody just making up this stuff.
No.
Come on.
No.
And it'd be
And too
different.
many details. Too many
Yeah,
details.
it'll be different.
And then
if he
also
was
too,
saying,
she these records also too, this incident when she went to therapy, you know, what, 10 years ago,
Yes.
is documented
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so if it's documented and his name is in the report and what have you, to me, it is very, very real.
But they don't want to see those records or those documents. They don't
course
want
not.
to. Yeah, they don't want the doctor to testify or anything. They don't want.
That's what the
anything.
rush is about, so
Right.
more
Yeah,
information
exactly.
doesn't come out.
Exactly.
That's true. That's true. Scotty, thank you so very much. We'll be looking forward to your commentary in a few minutes, okay?
all right, you all have a good day.
Thank you,
too.
Fred. Well, this is going to be very interesting. I was not going to watch the hearing on tomorrow for the mere fact that I feel for her and what she's going to go through, but now I am just to see
how they manipulate.
how this works and how they're going to be how they will be trying to force through a vote for his confirmation on Friday.
Absolutely.
That's just a bit much. Today's praise break is In the Midst of It All by Yolanda Adams, sponsored by the Metropolitan Day School with Eagle Sword.
Many hard trials, through temptations on every hand. Though Satan tried to stop me and place my feet on sinking sand, through the pain
Tranquil, relaxing, highly professional. This is how people describe Waterfall Salon and Massage Med Spa, offering a variety of massages including four-handed synchronized, sports, and soothing relaxation. Facials, microblading, teeth whitening, and fabulous eyelash extensions are done by their highly qualified staff. Book your services today on Facebook or call 804-644-4002. That's 644-4002. Waterfall Salon and Massage Med Spa.com.
What is it going to take to ignite change in the 7th District schools? My name is Bryce Robertson, and I want to bring greater inclusiveness, access, and support to our school district. On November 6th, elect me as your next school board representative. Our children, parents, and teachers deserve more from our leadership. My name is Bryce Robertson, and I paid for and approved this message.
Tanya Free and friends would like to welcome the Select Auto Group at 3203 Hull Street in Richmond, Virginia as one of our newest sponsors. Give them a call at 804-223-8989 or on the web at Select Auto, the number 4, the letter U.net.
Put your business on the map for a lot less than you might think with Freedom Marketing. Text the word advertise to 63975 or give them a call at 844-321-1010. That's Freedom Marketing, 844-321-1010.
I need a doctor, said the boy to the man, to mend my soul and ease my woes and give my life a plan. Well, hold on, son, said the man with the grin. Just be a man and have no plan and let your life begin. Play what you want to play, say what you want to say, be who you want to be, gotta try to find your own way. Play what you want to play, say what you want to say, be who you want to be, everything is right when you do your thing. Everybody get some time to live, but it ain't long, so break out strong and find something to give. But close your eyes and listen to the sun, and do not know what you've been told, and just do what you want. Play what you want to play, say what you want to say, be who you want to be, gotta try to find your own way. Play what you want to play, say what you want to say, be who you want to be, everything's right when you do your thing. Find your fire, follow your stars, know that they're never too far.
Join the conversation. Phone lines are open right now at area code 804-321-1010 in Central Virginia and 844-321-1010 coast to coast.
What you want to say, be who you want to be, gotta try to find.
I want to welcome our good friend, Dr. Ellis Henderson, to the panel. How are you, friend?
I'm doing well. How's everybody doing?
Good. Long
Good to
time
be
no
here.
be here, so
It
we're
has
glad
been a
you're
while.
here. We're glad you're here. Well, you heard the conversation what we were talking about earlier, and what are your views with regards to Kavanaugh and that whole situation, going on with what he did in high school? Do you think is relevant? Like the president said, why didn't she report this sooner? And do you think that she will get a fair hearing on Thursday? What are your thoughts?
I mean, I think she will be heard. I'm not sure whether or not the Senate, committee is going to, in essence, stop the delay process of him being confirmed.
You think they should?
I don't think he should be confirmed. I mean, I
Okay.
think going back to the hearings, he was lying during the hearings. I mean, he was unwilling to be forthright in answering certain questions during the hearings. So I don't expect him to be forthright in answering the questions tomorrow. I think he has a history of being dishonest. I think he has a history of being, manipulative in his writings. I think he has a history of being unethical, and I think that's why he was chosen, because he kind of mirrors President Trump in his morals and his ethics. However, I oftentimes question why do individuals wait so long, to report what has happened. But I realize too, when you've been abused or traumatized, oftentimes you compartmentalize, you forget, or you bury things. So she has.
I don't think you forget. I think that it's just so devastating that you feel no one is going to believe you. I think that's one of the, I think that's what, and I say that from the standpoint, I know when I was a kid, we had these boys, and this was in elementary school, that were grope girls. And I was almost a victim of that.
Right.
And when I think of, even now, you know, it happened in elementary school, I still have images of that.
Right.
And how, you know, devastating it was when, you know, it happened. This is elementary school.
Well, I've worked with children who've been sexually molested, and children who not only been sexually molested, they also molest other children. And during that interview process, you learn, you know, I forgot I was molested at 3 or 4 or 5. I've also worked with adults, women who've been raped and molested, and they're in their 30s, and they don't recall for 10 or 15 years. They kind of like buried it. That's why I say forget. Because, you know, when the brain experiences trauma, it needs to be compartmentalized in order to deal with it and to, you know, to actually, you know, to see yourself through it, and for lack of a better term. So I think oftentimes we can forget, and not to excuse the behavior of the victim or the victimizer, but just it's based off what the brain can handle at that particular time.
I think additionally, for women and maybe for men too, but you really don't want to subject yourself to all that's going to happen.
The ridicule.
If you do,
Well, that's a psychological aspect of it.
Right.
You know, psychologically cannot actually handle the pressure or the scrutiny from not being believed
Exactly.
by those who are supposed to protect you and love
And
you.
prior to Me Too, to the Me Too movement, women weren't believed.
Right,
You know what
that's
I mean?
true.
So you had
That's
to go
very
through
true.
all of that, and
Right.
then, and you know, the disgrace and whatever that goes along with it. Because when you do go to try, if you file charges or whatever, they end up beating you up and all this other. I mean, it really is demoralizing.
Well, remember Maya Angelou? She was molested and raped as a child, and the person got beat. I think he got killed, and she refused to speak for 3 years because she blamed herself for that man's killing. And it took her a long time to actually admit the fact that she was not at fault for her rape and her molestation, and that she did forget that. So I think historically, especially for us as African Americans, we have endured trauma, and we somehow kind of overcome. That's the double conscience that W. Du Bois talks about, us our ability to overcome and to work our way through trauma.
Right.
But this young lady, you know, she's a psychologist. She's actually worked with individuals who've been, you know, sexually abused, so she knows what to expect on both ends. So I think, you know, if he is confirmed, it's going to be hell for both parties.
Well, also too, something you said, she actually sought counseling and 10 years ago, and in the records, she talks about this.
Yeah.
Now, I hope that in the records is actually the name Kavanaugh appears in the records, so that I think would be proof and evidence that she is not making this up, and that this is something that, you know, she sought counseling for.
Like 10
and,
years ago, right?
Right,
That's what I
right.
heard.
The records, she took this counseling 10 years ago, and
Right.
in the records, it talks about this incident. And like I said, I hope his name, I don't know when you do counseling and you have an incident, if you put people's name, I don't know.
Well, typically you do mention the person's name, but there's a privacy act. But if her therapist and her are willing to disclose that, there's public record.
Okay. Yeah, and I think that to me would be evidence. That's why I cannot understand why, well, yes, I can understand why the Republicans are trying to, like they said in the old days, bum rush this through. I think the other women that have come forward need to also have their voices heard and should be be coming before the committee as well.
Yep.
But of course, the Republicans are not willing to do that because they know full well that, you know, there is something to these women's story. And I'm wondering what Michael Avenatti is going to. He is amazing attorney. He really is, in my opinion. And if he has something, I think he's going to play that on Thursday for whatever it is that they, you know, try to counteract, you know, for this this hearing. Ed, did you have something?
No.
Okay.
I wanted to say something about what's happened. If you don't, I train martial arts, and 3 times this has happened with a woman I was training. And the first time I was strictly clueless male. The woman started crying while she was training and ran out the room to the restroom in the school, and I'm like, what's going? You know, in each one of those cases, though, in their training, it brought back the situation in their mind. Mm-hmm. That's why when you were talking about what would you say? Compartmentalized. It kind of hit me that it wasn't on their minds, but when they were doing some physical training, then that brought it back to them, the situation back to them. So I could see how someone would just put it off and maybe not even remember the details of the incident.
Right.
Yeah, and that's why it's so important to have a female gynecologist, because oftentimes the female gynecologist, when she's experiencing an exam, oftentimes women have emotional breakdowns. And a female gynecologist is not going to let it, go by the wayside. They're going to investigate, and they found out oftentimes women have been, sexually abused or assaulted. And so during that process of being touched inappropriately, your brain, again, it's trauma. It's like a post-traumatic stress disorder. And so you're going to compartmentalize because you can't deal with it.
Right.
And if anything happens to remind you of it, it's going to come back up.
Yeah.
Right, and that's exactly what happened. And it was 3 separate cases.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
that is devastating. Let me read a comment. Jessica said all black people have some sort of PTSD. You all agree with that?
I'm not sure about this generation now.
Maybe
the generation of 40 and older. I don't know about this generation.
Well, I think from a standpoint, when you think back what our ancestors went through, how, black women were constantly raped,
And
that
black men.
That to me,
Yes.
well, okay, but let's deal with the women first. We talk about, and for being a woman, a black woman, and you think about that, it just is devastating to me that they constantly rape and how they endure that. I just don't. It's painful to think about. To me, being a black woman, it is very painful to think about.
One of the core values of white supremacy is degradation. And so white supremacists, especially during slavery, they would, of course, rape the black woman behind closed doors, but they would rape the black man out in front of everyone, so all the men would see, if you act up, this is what's going to happen to you.
Breaking a buck.
It's breaking a buck, exactly. And so historically, white supremacists have always used degradation and rape and violence as a way to control. And I mean, not to go and make us a racial conversation, but I think that we have forgotten what's happened to us historically.
That's true. Yeah.
And so, I saw this young man, this young lady who comes on, and she's a Republican apologist, and she says we need to forget about, her name is Candace Owens, we need to forget about slavery. And I'm wondering, like, how can you forget about slavery? And why do we need to forget about slavery? No one asked the Jews to forget about the Holocaust.
Jewish people
And in fact, we are actually living in a situation where we are being thought of as slaves for the mere fact that our young men are being killed in the street.
Yeah.
What is that? Being kept down. When you think about being kept down and not able to advance to the next level or at the table with different things, that is to me a form of slavery.
Yeah, no doubt.
It is. Bill Cosby is a prime example of that. How they, he was wrong as all get out. And I was talking during the break as to, we heard about Bill Cosby and his situation day in and day out. And I believe Kavanaugh is getting a pass. Because like I mentioned, Monday, we were all I saw on TV was Rod Rosenstein meeting with the president. Why weren't we talking about Kavanaugh and these women and what happened constantly and giving us information and details about what happened in those years that this woman now is coming forward to talk about? I don't understand that.
And if I could piggyback off of that, think about these Catholic priests. How many of these Catholic priests have seen jail time?
That's a good point.
And they have raped numerous children.
That's a very good point.
And for how many years now?
That's a very good point.
And it's never been brought out. So I think what we're witnessing with this Supreme Court hearing is white privilege being broadcasted. This is what white privilege looks like. This is completely white privilege.
It is. It really is. Curious said this is a witch hunt. Okay, we'll see, Curious. We'll see if this is a witch hunt.
I guess the question is, who's the witch? Is Kavanaugh the witch? Mr. Witch Hunt, who's the witch? And who's being hunted?
Yes, very much so. It is just very unfortunate the times that we're living in. And like I said, PTSD is very real because I just think about our ancestors and when they went through. And I raised the question, could I have survived in a situation in a time doing that?
No, I could not have.
Yeah, I mean, considering what we're enduring right now, and that's one of the things that helped me to press forward when I think about what our ancestors went through. I mean, the abuse constantly, day in and day out, when you get up and torture.
We're going all the way back to slavery. What about the generation before us? I mean, my father grew up in Texas in the 1920s, picking cotton. All right, that's the idea. I mean, he tells me about some of the things that he went through, and he saw, and that's not slavery. That's not 3 generations back. That's my own father that I grew up with.
Right, and I guess, and I look at it from this standpoint that we have made progress, but still not enough progress, because we're a lot more educated now and understand things a whole lot better. Even though, like I said, things have gotten better, we still have chains on us. That's the part that is devastating to me, And when I look at what's going on in Washington and how, this individual is in office and saying and doing the things that he's done, I'm just trying to understand how did we get here? What happened? How did we get to this point? We got to take a break and be right back. Yeah, that's the question. How?
Voice and sing till earth and heaven ring with the harmony of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening
This is Tanya Free. Is your business in need of a cash infusion to help your business grow? Been told no by the banks? If you've been in business at least a year and have $10,000 in gross monthly revenue, give our friend Anthony Gibson at Fast Advance Funding a chance to say yes based on the strength of your business, not your credit history. Give Anthony a call at 215-642-0686. That's Anthony Gibson, Fast Advance Funding, 215-642-0686.
The New Orleans Talk Network, now on your mobile device, on your computer, in your ear, and interactive. It's new, it's innovative, and it's on your mobile device. Android, iPhone, iPad, and on your computer. Take us wherever you go. Because we're interactive. 504-341-TALK. That's 504-341-8255.
Select Auto Group, where we offer guaranteed financing. Are you looking for a new or used vehicle and can't find it on any car lot? Let Select Auto Group go to work for you. Bad credit, good credit, no credit. Everyone is approved with Select Auto Group, located at 3203 Hall Street, or visit us at selectauto4u.net, or give us a call at 804-223-8989. That's 804-223-8989. Select Auto Group. If they can put a man on the moon, we can put you in a car.
This is Tanya Free, inviting you to check out the Tanya Free and Friends Talk Show, your destination for the best in social and political straight talk, here coast to coast on the AM/FM 247 radio network and the AM/FM 247 television network. Join the conversation.
The Tanya Free and Friends Talk Show, Wednesdays.
This is for the cool.
Right now at area code 804-321-1010 in Central Virginia and 844-321-1010 coast to coast.
Hello, where we? I just, I want to talk about Bill Cosby. But let me say one other thing about Kavanaugh and how the media. I think Trump has got the media such that they cater to whatever it is, how he wants them to present things. And I am disappointed that the media did not cover or has not been covering Kavanaugh like they did Bill Cosby constantly, week in and day out. I like I said, I don't understand what was the importance of covering Rod Rosenstein on Monday. I still can't figure that out. Until something happens, whether he was fired or resigned, they were constantly covering a meeting. When, to me, in my opinion, they should have been talking about Kavanaugh, Dr. Ford, and what's going on, and the women that have come forward. The second woman, I don't know much about. I didn't hear a whole lot about her. Now, the third woman, who has hired Michael Avenatti, that to me.
There's a third woman too. How many women have there been?
I know there's been three.
Three
The
so far.
third,
Really?
the third one, Avenatti, the third or fourth.
We better rush it through.
Yeah.
Well, I think there's two Republican senators, Collins, Feinstein, and I think there's a Republican male who is not
On board with
They're
the
not
vote.
ready to
Yes,
vote. Right.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I think you should. Every woman that has come forward, they should hear their testimony, just like when you had Bill Cosby and you had all 40, 50 women on a talk show and they all were able to, give their story. I don't understand the rush through. And I think you're right. If he is confirmed, they will pay dearly for it. I hope that to the point that that the Democrats are able to flip the Senate.
Can't a Supreme Court justice be impeached once confirmed?
I don't know.
I have no idea.
I honestly don't know.
It has to be a way to.
I think
if he
I saw
does
that
something,
somehow.
I don't know what.
If he does
I don't
something
know the
unethical,
procedure, but
they're
I
not-
bet you they
Well,
I mean, there's
hide,
evidence they
they
can
hide the rumors
Yeah,
on
but
that.
you know what the
You'll
thing
never
is this.
find out.
Yeah.
The
Well,
fact
I'm sure
that-
that it has to be something. It has to be something in our Constitution or somewhere that
checks and
says
balances
that
somewhere.
can occur.
But the fact that if you rush him through knowing that these allegations exist, it's going to be hard as all get out to undo it once he's confirmed. That's it. It's a done deal. And I
yeah.
don't think they would take him off. It'll be swept under the rug and
It's
it
a
will
done
move
deal.
on.
You're right.
Yeah,
Just like
it'll be
Trump is a done deal. Okay?
Yeah, well, for
You would
right
think.
now. For right now. I think that I'm waiting for Mueller to come forward and, give us something that they can undo. I didn't know the 25th Amendment exists, that you can actually remove a sitting president.
But
And I think that I'm thinking one way or another he's going to be removed. The question is this: we come,
At election time. That's when
well,
they do
my thing is this, and
2
one
more years.
I know
to
that.
have Pence as president.
That's what I was going to
It'd
say.
be
Okay.
worse.
You got 6
It'd
on
be
one hand,
worse.
half
That's
a
what I
dozen on the
said.
other.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, we're screwed either way.
see,
Well, I
the
saw a
problem
post
is-
that said start impeaching and keep impeaching and keep
Well, the thing is, the Democrats lost an election.
Right.
And you cannot lose an election and expect to appoint judges. It's just that
Elections
simple.
have consequences.
This
Well,
is
you
our
can-
political process.
You can be in power and still not expect to elect a judge. Okay?
Well, that's true,
I mean,
but
because
again,
when
the
judge-
Democrats lost an election, and if they are able to pick up, many seats during the midterm, then you could possibly see some things turn around.
Well, I think that they will get the House, but hopefully they will get the Senate some kind of way.
Right.
I know they say it's a slim chance,
Some
but
kind
I
of way.
hope that women, and it seems like women are coming out in record numbers.
Yeah.
To make it happen.
And rightly so.
Yeah.
And rightly so.
And
In answer to your question, good old Siri told me that a Supreme Court justice can be impeached
That's what I thought.
okay.
and convicted by Congress. Only one justice has been impeached by the House of Representatives. That was Samuel Chase, March 1804. But he was acquitted by the Senate in March 1805.
Okay. I thought
But you know
that there was
something?
some checks and balances in our system.
They're not going to impeach a justice for the mere fact that we should be impeaching a president, and it's not happening.
Exactly.
Well, I
Thank
have,
you.
I have
That's
a,
my point.
It horseback riding and walking. There's no way on earth he should be in office. Do we all agree on that?
Oh, yes.
Wait a minute. That's a little slow. What's wrong with y'all?
I don't,
No,
I don't,
I'm
I don't,
not slow. I'm
I
like,
don't,
how
I
did
don't
he
think
get
that's
there?
the case.
Doctor, what's the
I don't think that there. Well, let me ask the question I have is, so if Trump should not be in office, then who should be in office?
Okay, let's deal with him first. Should he be in office?
Should he be in office? He won the election.
No, that's not the question. Should he be in office?
Based off the election results, yes.
Okay, based on his performance. How about that? Should he
Based
be
on
in
his
office?
performance, I mean, when do we start picking presidents based off performances? I mean, he won an election. It's been a due process.
Okay.
And no matter what we
Did that-
state, I mean, the
did y'all
fact of the matter
understand
is
my question?
that he won an election.
Considering his performance, and most people see him as being unfit.
Okay, let
should
me
he
ask you a
be in
question.
office
Has the economy improved under President Trump?
as a result
It
of what
continued
President Obama
its
did?
improvement. That's what. If you really want to know the truth.
So
the
hold on
improvement
now.
began
So when
in
when
what?
President Obama took over for Bush, he said once he became in office, the economy belonged to him. He stopped the auto industry from bailing and from falling. All right, so he got credit for that.
Right,
Right.
when he came
and
in-
so
He didn't
now
get
that
credit for
now that
anything.
Trump
He
is
came
in office, so now that
He is-
so the
he
economy is not
he
his, it's
is
still
reaping-
Obama.
I have
he
a
is
Wait a minute
question.
reaping-
now.
I
It
have a
started.
question.
It
See, I think
I
I think we put so much focus on Obama, we fail to realize how he failed
Okay,
our community.
Wait a minute, Dr. Henderson.
Oh,
Hold
for
on.
God's
Hold-
sake, we're
hold a
not
second.
talking about
How
When-
has the
when
economy improved for the average citizen? The economy has improved for the rich. It
Absolutely.
really actually has.
Well,
Absolutely.
and they,
but for
wait-
the average citizen,
but they are
I know
feeling it.
several people that are working 2 and 3 jobs because they're only getting paid.
But how long have they been working to envisage?
Okay,
I
wait
mean,
a
this
minute.
began under President
All right.
Obama.
All right,
Oh,
hold
for
on.
God's sake,
Hold
we
on.
know.
Let's go
Talk
back a minute. When President Obama took office, the economy was failing, period,
Right.
honestly.
Indeed.
And it took 8 years for him to put it back in place for things to start to going up. President,
See, I disagree with that.
Trump has only been in office
disagree with
less
what?
than one term.
That Obama
And-
improved the economy for us as African
I
Americans.
disagree.
Okay,
I
but
didn't say
you talking
African-
about for
I-
African
no, I ain't
Americans,
talking about African American, I'm talking about
and we talking
overall.
about people. We
No,
talking
but
about
hold on now.
because
You can't pick and choose race when it's convenient for you.
No, we're not
disagree
talking
that
about
the
race.
economy
We're
is
talking about
It's
period.
about the
econ-
economy.
Okay,
I
so-
know
The
me.
economy-
As a former business
Not
owner,
race, not
my
black,
business
not white,
suffered
not
when President
Hispanic.
Obama was in office based off of his health care policies.
Okay,
You
we
know what?
got you there.
And so all I'm saying is, has the economy improved under
I tell you
investment
what,
has
No.
improved?
The broke
People are
in your
investing
family,
now.
the broke
No.
people in your
I mean,
family.
the poor we should
enjoy
always have with us.
Let me say this,
The poor we
Dr.
should always have
family
with us.
probably
The
enjoy
poor we
the
should
health
always
care.
I said the poor we should always
Let me
shall
say this,
always have with
Dr.
us.
Henderson, with regards to the trade war, and everybody is against this trade war.
I'm against that as well.
And
But I was
we
also
will-
against NAFTA.
We will begin to see the harm,
The repercussions. I
that
agree
the
with you.
repercussions of that, especially being that he added an additional 10% as of last week. And the economy will eventually fall and fail. You got farmers that are complaining,
I agree
and
with
he's
you.
actually giving them bailout money.
$20 billion.
Right,
we got to
and
pay
they are
$20 billion.
upset because they don't want a handout. They want to be able to sell their product and move forward, opposed to getting a bailout. My question is this: when we start to suffer, are we going to get a bailout?
No.
Or are we going to get
We
anything?
will not.
So
We will not.
So that's what I'm saying. The positive that has been going on with the economy is because of things that President Obama put in place when he was in office. And everything that Trump has rolled back, that means we're going backwards. We just haven't seen it as of yet.
No, we've seen a lot
I
of it.
think we've seen it.
We've seen a lot
Okay.
of it already.
I think we've seen it
You know.
because the way inflation is going up,
So let me ask you a
prices are
question.
going
So
up,
we
and-
still
and-
believe.
and salaries are not going up.
So
Healthcare is
Walmart
unbelievable.
just-
Medication is
Walmart
unbelievable.
Just had their best quarter ever.
So we are still trusting the government to
And
come and save us on the
Walmart,
White House.
I did not say government,
no,
but
but
I'm
wait a
just
minute.
saying that
Walmart
the-
and a whole bunch of companies have sent letters stating that this trade war is going to hurt them tremendously. We won't see it in December, but next year we will. And folks will start to lose their job, and the economy will start to fall.
completely
I know you're
agree with
upset.
you.
You're upset about the health thing. I am
No,
too.
no, I'm not upset about that.
I am too,
All
because
all
my
I'm
health
saying
care is out of control. My health insurance is enough to pay a house note
all I'm suggesting is this.
and maybe get a
is
small
that
car. So I understand.
We
I feel
have
you.
spent so much time thinking that President Obama was our savior
So-
that we failed to realize that he made some critical mistakes.
Okay.
In the same
'cause
manner,
he's a human
and,
being.
and saying, oh, here we go again. So if he's a human being, so Trump's not a human being.
Okay,
he's
let me ask
subhuman?
you this. So let me just ask you
I mean,
this.
that's debatable, right?
All right, let me ask you this, Dr. Henderson.
Because oftentimes we're doing the same thing that conservatives did to Obama, liberals are doing to Trump. But at what point do we as a
God's
country
sake. I don't think it's a
progress and move
comparison.
forward?
Okay, so you're doing
It's
all
not a
right
comparison.
under Trump.
I'm gonna do it right anyway.
Okay.
Okay, but what I'm saying is
What
this.
are you angry about then?
I'm not angry about anything. All I'm suggesting is, at what point do we stop, focus on the negatives, and try to find some good? Not from a Trump standpoint.
Okay. So
not
tell me,
from
so
Obama
tell me, so
standpoint.
tell me,
I'm
so tell
speaking
me the
about
positive
when,
about.
when do we start
Tell me the
relying
positive
on the
about
United States
Tell me the
government to
positive
do
about
anything
Trump.
for us?
Tell me the
Because
positive
the police
about
are not
Trump.
going to change.
Because
Social services is not going to change. Corporate America is not going to change. I mean, at what point do we as African American people start
Okay,
to put some things
tell
on the
me
table
the
for us?
positive about Trump then.
Positive about Trump?
Yes.
What's
How is
the
he
positive
helping
about
you?
Trump? Oh boy, well he keeps us laughing.
How is he
He's what?
helping you? How is he helping
First
you?
of all, ain't nobody
the
helping me
black
but the
man?
Lord. So I'm
All right, I agree
looking
with
at
you
it.
Well,
there.
then
I
why
agree-
did we bring that up then? We were talking about should he be president? You talking about Obama and how he
No,
helped
that's not
black
what I
people.
said. No, what I
You
said
know?
was that what has the economy not improved under Trump? That's what I said.
The
I was
what
speaking
I
about the
said was the
economy.
economy
But I-
started improving under Obama. So
And I
all,
said-
all
Right.
Trump had to
And
do
what I
was
said was
sit
that
down in the
typically once
seat.
a president comes in office, they have ownership of the economy. So the economy is going to crash. And when the economy does crash, is that going to be Obama's fault or Trump's fault?
Trump's fault.
Okay, exactly. So I'm not against. I'm in
He
favor.
is only
of,
reaping the benefits we are
was
reaping the
done
benefits
prior to
of
him.
what right. That's
But
what it's.
the-
And I
that's
said
the
it from the and I
capitalism.
said it
That's
from
what
the
capitalism
standpoint.
does.
And I said it
But
from the
the
standpoint when
question-
President Bush started office, the first 4 years everything looked good, but by his second term things started to fall, and we went way down.
didn't fall,
and
it
President
crashed.
right, it crashed.
Well,
right, you know
number
about that
one,
far as stock market. And
I
then
didn't vote for
President
Trump, so I didn't vote for Trump.
Well, you would
Number
never
one.
know it.
Well, but that's your opinion. You're entitled to that.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's your opinion.
Yes,
Now, but
yes,
I am a conservative though.
I wouldn't.
But I'm not a
Nothing wrong with
Republican.
being- and
conservative.
It's nothing wrong with being a
That's
conservative.
wrong
It's
with
nothing
being
wrong
conservative.
with being a
I-
conservative.
I have-
I'm with you on that.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
with you.
conservative.
But you have a lot of Republicans that have kicked him to the curb. A lot of Republicans, and I'm talking intelligent Republicans, because you got some folks that don't read, don't know crap, and they're going to vote for him. We got to go to our Black Talk commentary. Our friend Scotty Reed. Take a listen.
Shining down on this great beyond. Thoughts ignite us, that love unite us. Then turn your face to the wind and taste His love within. You'll find a friend, everlasting love. You can depend, and every time you smile, you bless a child. Our spirits perpetuate. Our spirits meditate love.
The Tanya Free and Friends Talk Show is a presentation of Freedom Marketing Incorporated. All rights reserved. Views and comments expressed are not necessarily the views of the host and or this station.
That the Lord is He, shining on you and me, and the learning gate roads we must pave. Looking through each other's eyes, humanity will rise in love. Hey, in love, in love, yeah, in love. And our spirits, ooh, they will be one. Yeah, they'll be one. Be one.
Donald Trump gave a very aggressive, narcissistic, and hypocritical speech at the UN this week, which solicited laughs as he claimed to have done more in 2 years than all previous administrations in U.S. history. He talked about how strong the U.S. military is and how much has been spent to make the U.S. military the strongest in the world. Some are wondering if the Trump administration is about to lead the United States into yet another war meddling in the affairs of sovereign nations. Trump mentioned that other nations should respect the sovereignty of the USA while at the same time threatening the sovereignty of other nations like they are doing in Syria. The U.S. has no UN mandate to be in Syria, but has over 2,000 U.S. troops on Syrian soil under claims they are there to fight terrorists. Yet, when the Syrians and their allies announced a major offensive to clear out the remaining jihadists in Syria, the U.S. was one of the biggest critics, citing humanitarian concerns that were never expressed when they funded, armed, and trained those trying to overthrow Syria's secular government. continent. Today, Turkey, which borders Syria, announced that there may be as many as 10,000 Islamic extremists in Idlib province in Syria. It is hard to ascertain from the Trump administration what exactly is the mission of the U.S. forces illegally occupying Syria. If you ask White House National Security Advisor John Bolton, U.S. forces will remain in Syria as long as the Iranian forces invited by Syria remain in Syria. However, the U.S. military leadership has said that despite Bolton's claims, the mission is to rid Syria of ISIL, and that has not changed. Considering the Russians and Iranians' resolve not to be told what to do by the U.S. government, Syria could be the flashpoint for the next major war, which will cause massive casualties, with the U.S. Commander-in-Chief Trump being such an unstable, unreliable, and untrustworthy leader, and the rest of the nations have taken notice.
This has been Scotty Reed of BTR News reporting. Support independent media today by giving a tax-deductible donation to the Black Talk Media Project, which has been providing public digital media since 2008.
Are you searching for the best in online black radio? Then go to blacktalkradionetwork.com, helping you filter through the noise. Real talk, black talk.
Have you checked out Tanya Free TV on Ustream? Watch our radio broadcast live and catch up on past video podcasts. Download the app or go to ustream.tv to follow Tanya Free and Friends. Stay in touch with us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, or text the word Tanya to 63975. Join the conversation. Tanya Free and Friends, on air, online, on point. Join the conversation. Phone lines are open right now at area code 804-321-1010 in Central Virginia and 844-321-1010 coast to coast.
God first. Put God first in everything you do. Everything that you think you see in me, everything that I've accomplished, everything that you think I have, and I have a few things, everything that I have is by the grace of God. Understand that. It's a gift. 40 years ago, March 27th, 1975, it was 40 years ago, just this past March, I was flunking out of college. I had a 1.7 grade point average. I hope none of you can relate. I had a 1.7 grade point average. I was sitting in my mother's beauty shop. They still call it beauty shops now? What they call it now? Yeah, I was sitting in the beauty parlor. I was sitting in my mother's beauty parlor, and I'm looking in the mirror, and I see behind me this woman under the dryer. And every time she looked up, every time I looked up, she was looking at me, just looking me in the eye. And I didn't know who she was. And I said, she said, somebody give me a pen, give me a pencil. I have a prophecy. March 27, 1975. She said, boy, you are going to travel the world and speak to millions of people. Now, mind you, I was flunked out of college. I'm thinking about joining the Army. I didn't know what I was going to do. And she's telling me I'm going to travel the world and speak to millions of people. Well, I have traveled the world, and I have spoke to millions of people. But that's not the most important thing, the success that I had. The most important thing is that what she taught me and what she told me that day has stayed with me since. I've been protected, I've been directed, I've been corrected. I've kept God in my life and it's kept me humble. I didn't always stick with him, but he always stuck with me. So stick with him in everything you do. If you think you want to do what you think I've done, then do what I've done and stick with God.
Was the wonderful Denzel Washington. Mr. Free shared this with me, and I was like, when I heard it, I'm like, sometimes we forget about how we got to where we are. And one of the things we were talking about our ancestors, one of the things they held tight onto was God. And I believe, like this, what's the song? How I Got Over. That's it. That's the bottom line. So, and as far as I'm concerned, I ain't gonna argue about that because I know I made it all the way by the grace of God, sure enough. So when I heard that piece, it was awesome. And there's another piece we're gonna play after we come back from the break. I want to read something piggybacking off of my friend Scotty Reed's commentary, where the president was at the UN State of the Address yesterday, and it was a laughing stock. And let me see if I can read this. In less than 2 years, my administration has accomplished more than almost any administration in the history of our country, Trump said, opening his address to the UN General Assembly, the Hill reports. And then the audience started laughing. The president said, so true, to which the audience laughed louder. He is an absolute laughing stock globally. And once again, I raised the question, is he fit to be president? And I'm not going to ask you, Dr. Henderson, because I know what your response is.
I agree with you, Ms. Free. He is not fit to be president, in my opinion. However, he was elected to be president.
Well, we got that part. Okay, we agree on that part. We agree on that part. But it's dangerous to have someone, I don't know what you would call it.
A demagogue, a dictator?
No, it's worse than that. It's way worse than that. Incompetent. That's the incompetent. Someone is completely, totally incompetent. That's the word that comes to mind.
Was there a background check for that applicant?
Well, that you know what, but you know what? We
We
talked about this once before as to there isn't a lot. The requirements for being a president aren't very high. I think you had to be 33, and was one or two other things, but. That's what we need to look at because for 2020, I was reading a whole lot of people that are throwing their names in the hat, and a lot of these folks have no political experience.
It's because of Trump.
Yeah, so everybody feel like they can be president now.
Exactly.
And that's a very, very dangerous thing. You're going to vote people because they're popular, not because they are competent. That's dangerous.
Well, he set the presidency.
That is dangerous.
Because even
yes, it is. It's lower than low.
That dude couldn't run a 7-Eleven.
Exactly, it's lower than low.
Well, no, we're about to be bankrupt, just like all his casinos were. You know what I mean?
Right.
We're about to be.
Right.
The United States when he finishes fronting money to the farmers, for the dumb. Mistakes he made dealing with Chinese, etc. Then we need to pay for it. We got to get subsidized. Them, you know what I mean? So by the time he's finished, so the debt is increasing, and then you cut down on taxes. Rich don't have to pay as much taxes as they used to. So where's the money coming from? You don't know taxes. You're giving away more, so the debt has to be what?
It's unfortunate that we're all going to pay for this in the long run. That's the sad part about it. And stock up on your soup and peanut butter and all that kind of stuff.
Soup lines again.
Go ahead, Nona. You got a comment?
I just wanted to say one thing. I think part of the problem during the election was that people did want to change, but people didn't really know what that change looked like.
Right.
And so they voted for him. I was in a restaurant recently, and there were two men sitting behind me, and they were talking about Trump. And they were saying that they knew he had major flaws. They knew his businesses were not as successful as he would have you believe. But they thought that the weightiness of the office would have changed him. And they were saying how disappointed they were.
Hey, did they vote for him?
Yes.
They sound like, oh, they did, okay.
And they were disappointed that position didn't change him. He continued to be who he is.
Right.
And, you know, you can't always expect
people to change.
Yeah, that's true.
No matter where you put
And I think he's even more arrogant. He thinks he walks on water. He really does. And that's the part. When I see him get off that plane, I have to turn TV off. I really do. Because he thinks he is
untouchable.
Yeah, it's even worse than that. He thinks, I just can't, it's just blasphemous to me. It really is. When I see him, it is absolutely blasphemous to me that, you know, you think you walk on water.
Well, the other thing that we've got to think about is a lot of people just didn't like Hillary Clinton. There were a lot of people against her. All right?
That's
and
true. And to this point, I don't even like seeing her on TV. I really don't. I wish she would just go and enjoy her grandchildren and just say bye-bye to politics. That's just how I feel about with her.
I think the Democratic Party made a major mistake not getting a better candidate to run against 45.
Well, they better get it together for 2020.
I think Bernie Sanders would have beat him. Because I think Bernie has some momentum moving, but, you know, the Democratic National Party was in cahoots to put Hillary in place.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're right. I agree with you there. That is very true. You know. But for 2020, they better be getting together. You know.
I hope that they run on the issues and not just on we don't want Trump.
Yeah, but you're gonna need something. You're gonna need somebody. You were talking about President Obama being passive for 2020. They're gonna have to get somebody that's very progressive. The passive is not gonna cut it.
I don't know the first name. Her last name is Senator Harris.
Camilla?
Yes. Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris.
She's bad. She's intelligent. She's bright. Right. I think she's brilliant in her questioning. And
she got a little Maxine Ward in her.
You know, Maxine, the old pit bull does.
Yeah, but I mean, she's gonna be as a pit bull. You're gonna need some pit bull for 2020. Well, we're gonna need an intelligent one though.
No one's got the fight Maxine has.
Right.
That's just it. You're gonna need some
awesome.
Because that's what we're dealing with right now.
Yeah, you're right.
So
you're right.
You know
what's gonna happen if a woman is running for office? She's gonna have to be hell on wheels because there's a group out there that does not want a woman as president. I don't care if she's flying.
You're
if
right.
She has wings.
That's true. You're right. That's why in the midterm you have a lot of women that are running and looking to win. I think it was like 12, the last number that I checked. The sister.
What about Elizabeth Warren? What's your thoughts on Elizabeth Warren?
I want some fresh. I used to like, but anyway, don't make.
But there are a lot of polls that say that a woman president would have it to be elected a candidate worse than African American man. You know, they just don't want a woman in.
What we're talking about?
Women that don't want it as well as men that don't want it.
Well, but the thing is, what we're talking about now with Kavanaugh being pushed through, women are watching this. And this is one of the reasons why this whole thing is so important, because if the Republicans bum rush this through, women are going to step up, show out, not only for the midterms but for 2020 as well.
Right, but I bet they won't. Some of those same women still would not vote for a woman president. That's all I'm saying.
I don't know with the Me Too movement. With the Me Too movement, I think that changes the dynamics.
It does, and maybe that'll get you a senator position. Or somebody in the House, but I bet you some of those things didn't. Not to say a woman won't win, but I bet it'll be so close.
My thing is this: okay, would you consider that type of woman to be a passive woman, a woman that's subservient, or they just like?
No, but the majority of women who run are not passive.
Right.
But I'm talking about a woman that wouldn't vote for him just because she's a woman. I'm trying to
Let me
understand
tell you,
that.
I don't understand it. All
That's
I
what I'm
know
trying to
is
understand.
that
Because
it
that,
exists.
to me,
The polls show that there are women that isn't not.
Okay, so are these the women that voted for Trump?
Well, no, they voted. You know what? They voted for Donald Duck and Mickey Mouse, which is in essence a vote for Trump.
Okay, and that to me, those women, that's a different type of woman. That's one of those women that if their husband say, "I want you to vote for Donald Duck or Daffy Duck or whatever," they will do that.
Right. Well,
we can't count. You can't count those women. I don't count those women. Those women are to me are the subservient and
there's a resistance to women in CEO positions and in running churches.
Today's jazz break is Be Thankful by Walter Beasley, sponsored by Hong Kong Tailors, Richmond, VA. Check them out.
Salon and Massage Med Spa. Headwear, one of our newest sponsors, expert alterations in Richmond, Virginia. Give them a call at 804-644-4002 or visit them on the web at waterfallsalonandmassagemedspa.com. All first-time shoppers will get a 10% discount just by saying Tanya Free sent you. Hong Kong Custom Tailors, 1839 West Broad, 359-5441.
Tune into Just Jazz on Saturday nights from 9 until 11 p.m.
So we're going to turn it up a little bit. Everybody in here thankful? We're going to sing. We want you to sing. All right? Here we go. Though you may not drive a great big Cadillac. Come on now. Gangsta white wall. TV antenna in the back. Oh, yes, ladies. You may not have a car. Come on. But remember, brothers and sisters, you can still stand tall. Just be thankful for what you got. Though you may not drive a great big Cadillac. Gangsta wide wall, TV antenna in the back. Whoa, whoa. You may not have a car at all. Come on. But remember, brothers and sisters, you can still stand tall. Come on.
This is Tanya Free. TanyaFree.com is your destination for the best in social and political straight talk, breaking news, commentary, podcasts, music, and more. Stay in the know. Visit TanyaFree.com today.
Join the conversation. Phone lines are open right now at area code 804-321-1010 in Central Virginia and 844-321-1010 coast to coast.
Oh, we got Denzel again, y'all. Oh, we on the air? Okay, y'all play Denzel? Okay, I guess not then. We're on the air. Oh, let me do this. Let me read our good friend, Reverend Blanche Falk, has an event coming up this Sunday, October 28th at 4 p.m. It's the Shades of Pink fashion show, raising awareness about breast cancer and education for all. That's breast cancer and education for all. The admission is free, held at 2705 Hartman Street, Rising Mount Zion Baptist Church. There will be drawings for gift baskets, over $500 worth of gift cards. They will honor survivors and caregivers, which I think that's a really, really big deal if you have survived cancer. So it's a wonderful event. So mark your calendar. It is this Sunday, October 28th at 4 p.m. Rising Mount Zion, free admission for all. Okay. I can't remember what the heck we were talking about. We talked about so much during the break. Let's do this before we run out of time.
Dreams without goals are just dreams, and they ultimately fuel disappointment. So have dreams, but have goals. Life goals, yearly goals, monthly goals, daily goals. I try to give myself a goal every day. Sometimes it's just to not curse somebody out. Simple goals, but have goals. And understand that to achieve these goals, you must apply discipline and consistency. In order to achieve your goals, you must apply discipline, which you've already done, and consistency every day, not just on Tuesday and miss a few days. You have to work at it every day. You have to plan every day. You've heard the saying, we don't plan to fail, we fail to plan. Hard work works. Working really hard is what successful people do. And in this text, tweet, twerk world that you've grown up in, remember, just because you're doing a lot more doesn't mean you're getting a lot more done. To plan every day. You've heard the saying, we don't plan to fail, we fail to plan. Hard work works. Working really hard is what successful people do. And in this text, tweet, twerk world that you've grown up in, remember, just because you're doing a lot more doesn't mean you're getting a lot more done. Remember that. Just because you're doing a lot more doesn't mean you're getting a lot more done. Don't confuse movement with progress. My mother told me, she said, yeah, because you can run in place all the time and never get anywhere.
That, once again, was Denzel Washington with excellent points that I think sometimes we lose focus of what other people have experienced and not learning from that and just forget very important things. Like you said, have a plan or whatever it is we're going to do. And, you know, a lot of times we spend so much time running around doing stuff. And like you said, a lot of times we aren't going anywhere, you know? So just food for thought. Why are you looking at me, Brenda? Food for thought. Let's talk about Bill Cosby, who was sentenced yesterday, minimum 3 to 10 years. I don't know about you, I watched that, and it was very, very painful to be in poor health and that age, and you're spending possibly your last days in a jail cell. And a lot of people raising the question as to whether or not he should serve time. I heard that constantly yesterday. What do you all think?
You do the crime, you do the time. And I think that, unfortunately, I love Bill Cosby. I got the other respect for him and what he's left behind. But if he drugged any of those women, then I have daughters. At any point, I don't know what the evidence suggested. Then it's wrong. It's wrong.
I agree with you. I agree with you 100%.
And it hurts my heart.
I agree with you. That's why I said it was painful to watch yesterday, for the mere fact that you don't want to set a precedent where somebody does a crime and just because they're old, they're like, okay, you let them off the hook. Because you may have others, coming behind him that have committed a crime, and you don't want this to say, oh, well, you let him go. And you made a point earlier about the woman with Emmett Till coming forward. And I think
she admitted to it. She
Right.
admitted to false incrimination of Emmett Till. So why shouldn't she be? Same thing.
Exactly. What was she, 90-something?
I don't know if it's the same thing. I mean, from terms of drugging and raping women to her telling a lie about Emmett Till.
Which got him
his life.
right. Which got him. In other words, what I'm thinking is, if she's committed a crime, then she should be also convicted also.
It was something. It was something that they were looking to see whether or not she could be charged, and it came up as to whether or not she should serve time because of her age. I remember something with regards to that in the media. And my thing is, if she could be charged just because of her age, I think if she did the crime, yes, she should serve the time. I don't care what age you are, because it's just plain and simple. You don't get a pass just because you got away with it, in your younger years, and it finally catches up with you, as you've gotten older. That's just the way I see it. I just, because you have a lot of folks that have done stuff, and they're like, okay, they think they got a pass, but when it catches up with them, they think, okay, that's something the same thing we're talking about with Kavanaugh. Something he did early in his earlier years. Should we give him a pass and put him on the Supreme Court?
I'm not suggesting anyone should get a pass. For me, I know what America does to us, and how it's always a double standard. My son and I was talking about this today. I said, we know it's a double standard. We know how we're going to be treated. Is it wrong? Of course it is. But we have a responsibility to conduct ourselves differently because we know how we're going to be treated. And we know what's going to happen. Unfortunately, Mr. Cosby had a buku money. But some of the women that he supposedly drugged and raped were African-American women, 17, 18, 19 college students. Again, I feel for him. But, I remember, Jimmy Walker was talking about a few years ago in a comedy stand-up. He said everyone knew Cosby used drugs. Everyone knew he used drugs, and girls knew if you go see Cos, you're gonna get your drugs on. So to me at the time I was thinking, hey, then they were agreeing to that. But I don't know if because I'm going to use drugs with you, if you have a right to rape me or insult me.
No, you don't.
So I don't know. I don't want to be a hypocrite, but obviously. I wasn't there. I don't know what took place. It just hurts me that if he did that, if that's what the evidence says.
He said it was a deposition I read on the show where he admitted to one of the victims that he actually did.
Yeah, the one, yeah.
Yeah. So you did it one time, just because you didn't do it the other few times, claiming one time, that's all it takes.
Right.
But
we forget that.
Right.
And we don't mention that.
And also, too, let's not make this race, whether the victims were black or white, it's still a woman. It's still wrong.
Still a woman. You're right.
I think that we have to be careful and not trying to make everything race. We can't stoop to that level and making things race.
I saw a post this morning where it was saying that, that if Cosby, if Weinstein or somebody else had raped black women, it wouldn't have been an issue. As though, to me, I took it as though because Cosby was supposedly drugging and raping white women, it was okay. Rape is rape.
It is rape. You're right. And you make a good point with regards to, mentioned earlier during the show, how we heard about Bill Cosby day in and day out.
For years.
I have not seen that happen with Weinstein and what was the CBS one. I don't understand. Well, I do understand the media and money makes a world of difference. And it's very unfortunate that race is playing a part in this whole thing. It is. You're right.
I think that's obvious. To me, as I was telling a friend of mine who's white, he was asking me, he grew up on watching the Cosby Show. We grew up together. And he says, do you think this is racial? And I said, of course I do.
Mm-hmm.
I said,
Yeah,
but what
it is.
isn't racial in America?
It is. You're right. I agree with you.
I mean, what isn't racial in America?
I agree with you 100%.
You know,
It is.
so, yeah.
Unfortunate, you know. And the Me Too movement, was it born out of Cosby or was it Weinstein? I can't remember which one it was.
No, producer there.
Cosby.
Cosby? Oh, Cosby? Okay.
No, it was Weinstein.
Weinstein, okay. I thought it was Weinstein.
It was Weinstein. Because they've been after Cosby about this for years.
Yeah. Right.
It wasn't until Hannibal
before
Buress, the comedian, came out and roasted him on stage. Everyone who didn't know about it started, using social media and looking up to see if it was accurate. Right. And that's when it kind of blew up. Mm-hmm. That's when Hannibal Buress's career took off. And he says it was a joke to him. He wasn't trying to throw an African American icon on the bus. He was just joking as a comedian.
Right.
But those who he was joking to was predominantly white crowd. They Googled it, and one thing became another.
Wow, unbelievable. Ashley says, "Stop equating Obama with Jesus."
Amen.
I don't think any president is Jesus. You can't equate anybody with Jesus.
But I think we were doing that.
But I think sometimes we look at Obama as though he didn't do anything wrong, as though he was a perfect president. But compared to Trump, he was 1,000 times better.
I don't think that at all, because I'm still PO'd about the affordable health care. I'm PO'd as all get out about that. I don't know about y'all. What's that?
It really helped us.
It helped a lot of people.
It burnt me. It is still burning me.
It helps some and it hurts some.
For it from the beginning. That's why you had to
don't get me
try to
started.
Hey,
like Denzel said, I'm trying to keep from cussing.
It was for poor people. It had nothing to do with you.
Obviously, should it be for everybody?
That's what I'm saying. Amen. Like who's gonna take care of my kids?
Poor people.
Republicans fought him on every step of that.
Every time.
So he could not implement.
I agree with helping. I agree with helping. I have no problem with that. But when it burns me to the point that I am,
but they fought him.
After it was passed.
Right, and anything that they could do to make it higher, that's what they did.
We could have had universal health care, and he did not want to pursue that. We could have had universal health care.
I'm telling you what I
You really think that would have passed?
Well, all I'm saying is, why not go for that and then get something close to it versus going for something that was half of that?
Or going to burn a particular segment of. I mean, like I said, I'm still peeled about
segment
that. Like this, let me not cuss.
The segment of the population that didn't qualify shouldn't have been trying to get Obamacare.
I won't try to get
too much money. It was designed.
I know you're not talking, Missy.
I didn't say I went for Obamacare. I tried to tell you.
Let the truth come out. Let the truth come out.
No, I didn't go online and apply for it. That's
right.
And you shouldn't have either.
No, you're probably happy. You're probably happy because he brought you out of that during stock market crap. When the stock market crashed, you on here.
I was happy about that.
Yeah, because he brought you. Because you were cussing before that.
Sitting high with the horse. Eating high off the hog over here.
No, it ain't like that. But I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say I know people who are affected by.
Who were helped by it. And I agree with that. I agree with that 100%.
And you know what? And just because it didn't affect me, I'm not bothered by that. I think we need to look out for people who can't. People need health care.
I agree with you.
You don't need to go to the hospital.
I tell you what, after the show,
you don't have
we're going to go outside. I'm putting the boxing gloves.
They're going to patch you up and send you on home to die.
But the thing is, but wait a minute. But my problem is this. Why should I pay for health care that is enough for a house note and maybe a small car?
And why am I penalized if I don't want health care?
Because you're on the wrong website.
We were penalized. We were penalized because we chose not to have health care.
Why are you penalized?
Right.
No, you know what?
Exactly.
No, listen. Right. If you don't have, in the state of Virginia,
so
if you don't have
car
insurance on your car.
Car insurance is I'm driving a vehicle that could kill somebody. Health insurance has to do with my life and my individual rights as an American citizen.
Right.
And I think it's wrong.
No, it really doesn't.
For me, it does.
Yeah, it is. He's right. No, he's right.
No,
because he is right. He's right. Because if I were to, whoever dropped dead ain't got nothing to do with you.
No.
If you don't have health care, you say I'm not going to hospital, I don't have health care. Let me just sit in here and drop dead. That's not going to affect you that 1 minute.
You got to look at the after effect of that. In other words, how it affects other people.
Oh, come on, there. Come on, Brenda. That's a stretch. We're going to take a break and come right back. That's a stretch.
If you suffer from chronic pain and stress, then getting regular medical massage is essential. Medical massage practitioner Nasser Staples has over 20 years of experience. Waterfall Salon and Massage Med Spa is the only place to treat migraines, arthritis, sciatica, or neck and shoulder pain. They offer a variety of services with convenient locations on both sides of the river. Mention this ad and you get 10% off your first. Visit them on the web and Facebook. Call 804-644-4002. Waterfall Salon and Massage Med Spa. The Tanya Free and Friends Talk Show is sponsored in part by
Furniture at the Venus. Hi, I'm Chocolate Chip, and your home is the place that says the most about who you are. Furniture at the Venus has a huge selection of styles that make a statement. Visit our showroom at 1420 Hull Street, Suite A, and check out our full line of dining room sets, living rooms, and bedroom sets, and more. Be sure to ask about our weekly Tanya Free and Friends specials on everything in the store, including king and queen mattresses, sets to fit any budget. With new arrivals daily, let Charles and Nancy Shaw show you their complete line of home furnishings and accessories. Give them a call at 804-232-3500. That's 804-232-3500. That's Furniture at the Venus, 1420 Hull Street, in the heart of Southside
If you suffer
Richmond.
from chronic pain and stress, then getting regular medical massage is essential. Medical massage practitioner Nasser Staples has over 20 years of experience. Waterfall Salon and Massage Med Spa is the only place to treat migraines, arthritis, sciatica, or neck and shoulder pain. They offer a variety of services with convenient locations on both sides of the river. Mention this ad and you get 10% off your first. Visit them on the web and Facebook. Call 804-644-4002. Waterfall Salon and Massage Med Spa.
Over there, that ain't no job. It's live, it's all the way live. Don't even have to walk, don't even have to drive. Just slide, slippity slide. Just forget about the troubles in your 9 to 5 and just sail on. That's what you do, just sail on. Now the dude's so funky, hey, what do you think? What is it called? It's called a lakeside stank. Come along and ride on a fantastic voyage. We wanna take you on a cruise around the land. Music is at hand. We wanna play it for you. You see, we want to be a crew of entertainers. Jam to the music, to the beat. Jam, yeah. Don't let nothing restrain.
Join the conversation. Phone lines are open right now at area code 804-321-1010 in Central Virginia and 844-321-1010 coast to coast.
You'll never see a U-Haul behind a hearse. I don't care how much money you make, you can't take it with you. And it's not how much you have. It's what you do with what you have. We all have different talents. Some of you will be doctors, some lawyers, some scientists, some educators, some nurses, some teachers. Yeah, okay. Some preachers. The most selfish thing you can do in this world is help someone else. Why is it selfish? Because the gratification, the goodness that comes to you, the good feeling that I get from helping others, nothing's better than that. Not jewelry, not big house I have, not the cars, but It's the joy. That's where the joy is, in helping others. That's where the success is. Finally, I pray that you put your slippers way under the bed tonight, so that when you wake up in the morning, you have to get on your knees to reach them. And while you're down there, say thank you for grace. Thank you for mercy. Thank you for understanding. Thank you for wisdom. Thank you for parents. Thank you for love. Thank you for kindness. Thank you for humility. Thank you for peace. Thank you for prosperity. Say thank you in advance for what's already yours. That's how I live my life. That's why I am, one of the reasons why I am today. Say thank you in advance for what is already yours. True desire in the heart for anything good is God's proof to you, sent beforehand to indicate that it's yours already. I'll say it again. True desire in the heart, that itch that you have, whatever it is you want to do, that thing that you want to do to help others and to grow and to make money, that desire, that itch, that's God's proof to you, sent beforehand already to indicate that it's yours. And anything you want good, you can have. So claim it. Work hard to get it. When you get it, reach back. Pull someone else up. Each one, teach one. Don't just aspire to make a living. Aspire to make a difference.
I had to say amen on that. Amen. That's once again Denzel Washington. That's why I've always liked him, because I think he practiced what he preached, and you can see the type of movies that he makes, and he's very selective and very particular about what he does. And his son is in the Ku Klux Klan movie, I believe.
Black Klansman.
Yeah, Black Klansman, which
Great
I heard
Great
Dr. Robinson said is very good.
Yeah, excellent.
So,
it's excellent.
yeah, I really like Denzel a lot. I'm not going to talk about health insurance anymore because I can't win that fight with you all.
Sure can.
Nope, I'm not even going to try. I think who brought up the fact that you have folks that are able to get surgeries that should not be paid for? What was it?
I brought it up, and Brother Marcus concurred with me.
Mm-hmm. What? Bring it. Talk about it one more time again.
I said I disagree with individuals who are able to use our tax dollars to get surgeries, whether it's a facelift, whether it's a gender issue, or even getting your own Viagra on our tax dollars. I disagree with that.
Yeah.
So why can't we use the money for our tax dollar to go to schools, to go to mental health, to go to child care? Our whole country is, to me, it's just bizarre.
Yeah,
it's
it is.
And I agree.
You can do all of that, but you still
a legitimate
need to.
health emergency. That's what health insurance should
Yeah,
be.
Exactly.
health emergency.
If you want to change your face, pay for it yourself.
or your sex,
And that's fine.
or your gender.
If
Yeah.
you just do that, that's
And that's fine,
Right.
but we do need help. There are individuals that do need help with insurance to take care of urgent needs. The
right.
things
If
that-
it's
I
an
agree with
urgent
that.
need,
And
if it's a
I'm
medical
in
need.
agreement with that, but I'm talking to these individuals who are able-bodied, working individuals who make a decision. I want to change up my face, my sex, my hair, or whatever else. I just don't think our tax dollars should be used for that.
And you're right.
Well,
So we
one
need
of the
to
things-
address
one
those
of the-
issues and
well,
not the overall.
I think the problem is our health care has gotten out of control. Getting services now or being taken care of is a business opposed to a service, because you get charged left and right for this and that. I was reading a story where this man was taken to the emergency room by the ambulance, and the bill he got was shocking. It was like over $10,000. I'm like, what? And a lot of people don't know this now. It is a business now, far as health care is concerned, opposed to a service being provided, to improve your health. And that's very unfortunate. And I know, a while back you would get health insurance and it covered almost everything. Now it covers absolutely nothing, basically. because these high deductibles that are in there. I don't know about you all, but last year my insurance did not cover my medication until December, and that was the last one, and that was the only one that was free. By that time, it was time to renew the darn thing.
You got the wrong issue.
Okay,
No,
we will talk.
I think also too, one thing we have to look at is how we eat, and we have to change up our eating. We have to change up how what we put into our bodies, because if health insurance is not going to cover us, we have to start eating better, getting more rest, exercising, doing the things that our ancestors did to stay healthy.
That's true, and I agree with that. But also, too,
there's a problem
healthcare
with
is a
that.
business from a standpoint, too. Think about all these people that are on opiate. How doctors.
And that's being covered,
I don't
too.
care, and I don't care how you call it, slicing and dicing. They were professional drug pushers.
Say it again.
They were.
That's
They were.
exactly what they were.
Say so.
And
But to the
when it
thing-
happens in our neighborhood, that's not what it's called. Now you have all these clinics and everything set up for them. And think about this: people that smoke. It used to be a thing; it was fashionable to smoke. Now you're seen as wanting you not to smoke, and you see people that have already been damaged by tobacco smoke or smoking. So you got to pay attention as to what's being pushed, why it's being pushed, and most of it, all of it, if I almost can say, about money.
Well, let me
It's
say
about
one
money.
other thing. You're talking about things that we know that are bad, the food we eat.
Yes, ma'am.
You're talking about eating better. It's very hard to know how to eat better because everything that we eat is contaminated in
Yeah.
some
And
form.
This
if
is
I can
true.
agree with you, it costs more to eat healthy.
It does. It
It
does.
costs a whole lot
And
more
you're
to eat
still not
healthy.
guaranteed.
You're not,
that
you're
you're
not.
eating
Think about
healthy.
That's why you have to grow your
Why-
own food.
But why,
You know,
why
go
would
back to
something organic cost more than something that is not?
It shouldn't, but guess what? They've even found contaminants in the organic produced food, and that's what I'm saying to you. You never know what you're eating.
You're right.
You
You're
know,
right.
so-
Because I started eating
Yeah.
some things organic because
Yeah.
I went to the store to get some strawberries. The strawberries that I was looking at that were not organic were the size of an orange.
I
I'm like, that is not
I got a
healthy.
story for you. So I know a gentleman. He owns a farm in Hanover, and his wife loves cashews. So she was going to buy these cashews. The organic cashews cost $5.69. The regular cashews cost $2.39. So he kept trying to say to her, "Listen, stop buying the organic cashews." So she finally read the label, and guess what? It had the same ingredients.
Same
They
ingredients.
just put the organic label on and charged $2 more.
Exactly. And that's the other thing.
That's
Looking
the
at the
problem.
ingredients as to what is in it. And you're right. That
Well,
is because
how it's grown.
it's marketing. That's all it is. It's marketing. That's what that is. Is marketing. They're like, okay, put the label on it. We're gonna market this as being healthy when it's not. It's the same thing.
Organic when you grow it yourself, because in our
Right.
community,
That's
I
true.
grew up on a farm, not a farm. My great grandmother had had tomatoes and lettuce in the back of the yard, and we ate that.
Right.
Well, what I saw on it, it said that if you've got this plot of land that you're growing just regular vegetables on it, you've got to wait a certain amount of years before you can get that land qualified in order to grow.
Really?
Yes, organic stuff on it.
Can't you put it? What can you grow it in a pot?
Well,
Is it the same
how
thing?
much you can't make enough in a pot.
Right. You know what's happening?
Because
What they're doing.
you've spread chemicals and everything
But
on
you don't
that
have to
land,
because,
and everything is
because
gone
the
in
government
there.
pays you. Monsanto pays you to spray these chemicals on this food. So if you don't spray it, then you don't get the government money. So Monsanto, which is spraying everything, that's why all the bees are dying.
And that's why we are dying. I'm telling you.
Exactly.
And that's why everybody's got cancer,
He
okay?
had a farm.
That's a
organic
scary
farm.
thing, y'all.
And he
Y'all
said
make
it was something like
it almost so you don't want to eat.
I'm trying to
It was
tell
something
you.
like 3 or 4
I'm
years.
trying to
3 or
tell
4
you.
years.
Before you could declare it an organic.
And they have to come in and have the
plants from
testing
it.
and everything else done.
And they got to test it.
That's why it
then-
costs more.
That's why it costs.
No, the reason I
And
said it
then
because
they
I've
have to
seen
use
people.
different-
I've seen people have a little garden and they have it in a little section, and it's not in the ground. It's something like a setup, like a little.
Yeah.
I don't know what you would
But
call
they
it.
can't cook. They can't.
Hydroponics.
grow
It's called
so much.
hydroponics.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
They're growing marijuana
it's just
in there.
it's just a personal side. What?
I mean, they're growing marijuana and hydroponics. It's what's causing it to grow.
No,
That's why
no.
they're legalizing marijuana.
We're not telling ourselves out.
I believe in it.
Right.
The other part about organic is you don't know how your seeds and your seedlings
Where they came.
got their start.
Right.
So they may have been started in chemically treated.
Treated.
soil.
Right. That's true. That's a good point.
You
Exactly.
That's a good point.
You sow them in your organically prepared soil, but
Right.
you still have the chemicals.
Right.
In the seeds.
That's
You're
a
right.
very
You're
good
right.
point.
You're right.
That's a good point.
Now you see why it costs so much.
Yeah.
And
But
you
the thing
can't-
is, but
and
it's
you can't
scary to
harvest
me.
them.
But it's scary to me. It's scary to me that when I see a strawberry the size
Of an
you know,
apple.
abnormal,
It should be.
abnormal
It
size.
should be
Now,
scary
the
to
question would be: do you pay more for the organic, or do you? I just couldn't bring myself to,
See, the
to
idea
get that
is free
strawberry.
range. You get the free range chicken because
I don't eat any
Yeah, well,
meat
you know,
or
but-
anything. No, I can't do that at all.
Yeah, free
no telling,
range
no
meat
telling
is
what's
better
been
than-
happening to that.
Same thing happening to those veggies. That's what I'm saying.
That's why you got to pray over your food. That's all.
That's right. You're
why
right.
you gotta pray over your
You're
food.
absolutely right about that. No question about
But I
that.
think when you say change diet, though, it's some common sense things. I mean, if you run into McDonald's every day, you got to know that's killing.
Or drink water. We don't even drink water anymore.
Well,
right.
you get, that's another thing. How do we know our water is not contaminated like what's happening in Flint?
That's right. You're right.
A lot of it is.
And even bottled water, you can't trust in these guys. Let's just die. That shit should be done with.
No, we ain't gonna do that. We ain't gonna do that. We're gonna hold on and keep. We're gonna do that and keep doing that. But you know what?
Everything fake news.
But you know what? It is so unfortunate that we have gotten so complacent and so careless about things. I was reading about something, and it was just how things. I mean, how do you think about all these places where the food is contaminated? Various restaurants, and when you hear stuff on the news, you got salmonella and all that. How did all that happen?
And people keep
Don't
going back.
eat out.
Yeah, how did that happen?
Look
With
at
all the
Chipotle.
technology and everything that we
5 or
have,
6 times, man.
how does that
Going
happen?
back up there.
It happens because people are careless, and guess what?
Right.
You got the managers aren't doing what they need to do. The
But
supervisors
this has
aren't
been
doing what
happening.
they need to do. I mean, you
Think
know.
about we used to have that grease we used to use 4 and 5 times for like 6 months straight. That same grease we used to use.
Back in the day.
Yeah. I mean, we know what was in that grease. It was black and dark.
Because it wasn't oil, it was lime.
We still use it right now. It's the center of the stove. My grandmother still got
That's
that
a
grease.
way back in the day. That's
Now, my mama used to use it, and when you couldn't cook it,
Cook chicken, potatoes,
She
fish.
made-
You're right,
She made fried
and that's a good point. We didn't worry about salmonella or any of those type of stuff. We ain't get sick and do all that. What is different now? Yeah, but why are we dealing with all this now? Is what I can't understand. All the stuff we did back then. You're right.
My mama made soap out of that stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
You made soap out of the grease. They
out of
cooked
the
it, took
grease.
a
Well,
bath in
and
it.
my aunt would go out in the yard and get a chicken and kill it, and
Yeah,
and
tap that neck,
and you know
hop
we had
around.
dinner. So what is it now that we are dealing with all this
Folks
craziness?
just weak. They got weak genetics. They got weak genetics.
That our parents did.
Food was fresher then.
My grandmother said they just weak. They just weak. They can't. They catch a cold. They out to work for a whole week. I'm congested. I'm sniffing. I'm sneezing.
We take too many antibiotics and all of that.
That's true, and that's another thing.
And
You gotta be
those
real
shots,
careful.
too, all those shots that
You
you
know what?
gotta
That makes me really concerned for the mere fact that we got all these different diseases and things. We didn't worry about them when we were raising our
Like
kids.
flu shots. Why you get a flu shot? I'm going to
No.
inject the flu in me so I won't get it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can't follow that one. No, I know you probably got folks that take the flu shot. I don't take the flu shot. I
I
can't
figure
go
like
with
this:
that.
if everybody
I don't
else takes
either.
it, then I don't have to worry about getting the flu.
I'm with you.
All right, but we got, as always, I thank God and my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for allowing us the opportunity to speak and hopefully heard. Thanks to our listening friends. Blessings to each and every one of you. Of course, thanks to Brenda, Ed, Dr. Henderson, Nona, Marcus, Noah, Sterling, and Mr. Free. I'm Tanya Free. Until next time, be free and remember to live life with a purpose.
The Tanya Free and Friends Talk Show is a presentation of Freedom Marketing Incorporated. All rights reserved. Views and comments expressed are not necessarily the views of the host and or this station.